Hope everyone's week is going well. Today I wanted to talk about exercise and hormonal balance. I know a lot of people, especially myself, thought that, exercise you should have the same energy for all different types of exercise every single day. And especially as a woman, we need to make sure that we're fit, looking good. And it wasn't until I got my PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, until I got that diagnosis. And then I started to really tune into my body a little bit more. And I noticed that I would wake up for the gym at like 5:15 every morning, go to the gym and then go to work. But, I would have my coffee before I went to the gym, wouldn't eat anything, would work out, and I would do about 30 minutes cardio and then 45 minutes of a combination of strength training and stretching. And towards, maybe like a month after my PCOS diagnosis, I noticed that my legs were giving out when I was running and doing different cardio. And I was like, why is this happening? I should be able to, I've been running for so long. I've been in shape for so long. Why is this happening? Why all of a sudden? And then I also started to notice that on my walk from the gym to work, because I worked out a couple blocks away from my office, my legs were actually feeling like trembly, like I was shaky. And then I would get to work, I would have my oatmeal, and I still couldn't like shake that feeling of being shaky probably for like an hour. And I was like, oh shoot, maybe I have low blood sugar. And it wasn't actually low blood sugar, although I'm sure it was, that had something to do with it. But it was actually because my adrenals, which are basically they sit right by your kidneys and they regulate stress, or the hormone cortisol, which is your stress level. They were so fried that they were just like grasping at anything to help keep me going. And it was because I was doing that, structure, 30 minutes cardio, 45 minutes strength training and stretching for 5 days a week for years. And my body was like, no, this can't happen anymore. And at that time, I also had gone off the birth control pill. So, I was starting to get into the different ebbs and flows of my different hormonal levels, because when you're on the pill, you don't really get that as much. And so I started tuning in a little bit more, and that's when I discovered Woman Code by Lisa Vitti, and she recommends cycle syncing for exercise. And I was kind of like, what? Like that, and that's never anything I ever heard. Like, you're always just supposed to, give your 110%, do CrossFit, do training, why shouldn't you go on a run when you're, on your period? That's just for the week, right? And she actually explains that your hormones are at different levels during different phases of your menstrual cycle. So follicular is really good for cardio, and that's the phase right after you get your period. So that's usually for like 7 to 10 days, and you're really good for like spinning and also trying new things. Like if you always want to try a Zumba class, go during your follicular phase, because of how your hormones are kind of ebbing and flowing during that phase. So then you get into your ovulatory phase, which usually only lasts 3 to 5 days, or even 1 to 3 depending upon the person. And that's when you have like super amounts of energy. And that's when you should do your boot camp, your TRX, all those really grueling things. And then you enter into your luteal phase, which is usually about 2 weeks. And the first half of your luteal phase, you still have that like pump up energy from your ovulatory phase. And I continue doing, HIIT classes or Orange Theory or anything like that, where it's really, really stressful for your body, but it's a good physical stress. And then the last part of your luteal phase, you start to that's when your hormones really start to dip before you get your period. So that's why you usually feel a little bit less energy. And that's when you get PMS symptoms, is during that second half of the luteal phase. So, I personally start to wind down, and I do more Pilates, or there's a class that I love here in Denver. It's called Fierce 45, and it's Pilates reformer class. And so I do those types of exercises because it's not as stressful on my body when, you know, when my body's not ready for that, or it's not really up for that energetically. And then during my menstrual, I usually really try to only do walking and yoga. But sometimes I feel energy, you know, I feel more energetic during my period. So I just make sure to keep it light though, and I don't be over ambitious. So when you actually are able to cycle sync your exercise, you can actually perform so much better, and you'll actually be so much stronger because you're giving your body the chance to recover when it needs to. When it has the energy, it can push itself, and you should do those things that push yourself during that you know, follicular, ovulatory, and first half of your luteal. You should push yourself during those times. But the second half of your luteal and menstrual phases, you really should cut back. And that allows your body the time to regenerate and be able to, you know, be the strongest it can possibly be. Because if you go against those rhythms, go against the rhythm of your natural women's cycle, you're going to actually set yourself up for, you know, injuries and wear out and burnout, and then you're gonna have to stop exercising for like months because your body needs a chance to recover. So doing this and exercising this way is actually the most effective for you, and the most effective for getting stronger and for just feeling good in your own body, which is what everyone wants. And I know a lot of people nowadays especially go to exercise classes or exercise to be able to look good, but you should really exercise if exercise is a fantastic goal, and it should be a goal because as humans we need exercise, and a lot of times we're just really stagnant, but exercise should be to make you feel good and to make you feel stronger and to make you a healthier person and just feel good in your own skin. And what I personally like to do for making sure I kind of keep with this cycle of the different phases of exercise, I use ClassPass, and that allows me to, you know, book my spin classes, and then, you know, the next week I could do a yoga class, or I could do my Fierce 45 Pilates reformer class, and then, you know, sometimes I'll also just go outside for a run or for a hike, but ClassPass or something like it is really, really beneficial, or that's what I've seen the most success with, because most of my gyms, I didn't really like the classes, and ClassPass allows you to go many different studios, and you can try out different classes. And, you know, during your follicular phase, which is when you should try out something new, you can go to that Zumba class or go to that, like, you know, dance class or hip hop class, or even just try spin for the first time. It allows you to be flexible with that. And I really, really like the flexibility, and that's just something I would recommend. They have a 2-week free trial. That's how I started with ClassPass. And, you know, try it out. See if there's studios that are near you that you like, and be able to incorporate it that way. Otherwise, I mean, you could always look on YouTube videos for things. I'm personally not a huge workout at home kind of girl. I need to get out of my apartment or my home because it's just... there's always a million things I could do to, you know, or something, I'll be interrupted. I don't get the workout that I want. So I always like to get out, but more power to you if you love working out at home. But those are my recommendations for exercise, and just give it, you know, try it maybe even for 2 weeks and see how you feel. I would recommend actually doing it for a month to see, because of how, you know, women's cycles are 28 days typically, or around that time. And, you know, you'll notice so much more, you'll be so much more energetic, which is what we all want. We all want to be energetic and healthy and feeling good in our own skin, and exercising by cycle syncing helps you do that. I know that it's not an easy concept to grasp. So, if you are interested in learning more, or just hearing a little bit more about it, or just, you know, curious how you can get more energy and be able to balance your hormones naturally, send me a message or check out my website and contact me there.